Cool. Well, I'll have a seat then over here. Let me ask you.
Well,
Is that one on? There we go.
I don't think so. It doesn't feel like it.
I think we can hear you. Or if you want to have a seat next to me and.
All right.
Oh, there you go. We're seeing your face all over the place here at Fan Expo, Dead Before Dawn. What can you tell us about this movie? What can we expect?
It's kind of a spoof comedy horror film, if you will, and it's got a lot of demons in it, and I'm in it, and it's and I'm kind of a demon and a good and bad guy at the same time, and I recommend it. It's good. It's a good film. Okay. Can everybody hear me way back there?
Can you hear me? Here.
Okay.
Check. This one will work.
All right.
There you go.
There we go. There we go.
Well, let's, before we open it up to the floor, being a big fan of Fringe myself, I gotta ask you about shooting your episode of Fringe. It was fantastic, one of my favorite ones. Working with John Noble, you know.
It was fabulous. I love the character. He was kind of had been a serious rock musician at one point, and now he's kind of on the edge, mentally, emotionally, and other ways as well. And I just love playing him. You know, it was a treat. I'd love to come and do another one.
Well, hopefully that'll happen. Do we want to open it up to the floor and go to some of the questions? There's a big line, so if you were first in line, you can walk right up to the microphone and ask your question to Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
How you doing?
Hi. Good.
My question is, Justin Bieber actually said he's going to do a remake of Back to the Future where he's going to play Marty McFly.
What? No!
Don't shoot the messenger. That's not his idea.
What's your feelings on that? And,
What is it? Back to the Future? What kind of Back to the Future?
a remake, and Justin Bieber said that's going to be his first role where he's going to play Marty McFly.
I don't see that at all. I haven't heard about a remake, but for sure I will be sure that I'm there when it's done, if ever. No.
So you're going to make a cameo then, if it happens?
A cameo?
Yeah. Or you're going to be in the film, or?
I have no idea. Frankly, I haven't heard about it. Whatever that means. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Next up, frankly, I don't think we'd want anyone other than Christopher Lloyd as our Doc Brown, right?
That's the right answer.
Hey, Mr. Lloyd, how you doing?
Hi. Good.
Thank you very much for coming. You've had many great roles, played some cool characters. Of course, Doc Brown, Back to the Future, Uncle Fester, Addams Family. Many people seem to not mention Taxi, and I thought that was a great character. I was just wondering if you could talk a bit about working with Andy Kaufman.
A lot of people ask me about Andy Kaufman. They want to know if he was truly insane. And, he was not crazy. He was not a nutcase. He had his own vision of the kind of comedy he wanted to do. He was maybe a little quirky, a little different, like we all are. And he just knew what he wanted to do, and he set out to do it. And he did it very well, Andy was pretty deep into meditation. And I remember one night, the show was ready to start, and Andy wasn't there, and there was a lot of concerns, and they found him out in the parking lot with his girlfriend sitting in his car in a yoga position, doing his meditation drills. And I remember one day, somehow it got around to levitation, and I think he claimed he could levitate. And we had a break during a taxi rehearsal, and he sat down on the stage floor in a yoga position and became very quiet, and we were all sitting around. I mean, he is saying he's going to levitate, and he sat down on the floor in front of the crew and the cast and everybody, and he's sitting there cross-legged. And it was like nobody said or anything or laughed. I mean, this is, he's going to levitate. And it went on and on for about 15 minutes. And he did not break from it. And finally, the stage manager broke it up because he said, we got to go, it's rehearsal, we got to work. But the very fact that he sat down there on the floor and made us believe he wouldn't do that unless he could actually levitate, because that would be crazy. So, and then we all went back to work because he couldn't do that, sit there all afternoon. But he was an amazing, amazing guy. Yeah.
Thank you.
And it was very, very sad that he's not still with us. So.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Mr. Lloyd. My name's Todd. Nice to meet you. I have a question about Taxi as well. Your character was Jim on Taxi, and it was a phenomenal character. My question is, how much did you enjoy playing the character of Jim, and how much did that help in launching your career as an actor?
How much?
How much did you enjoy playing the character of Jim, and how much did that help you in launching your career as an actor?
I love playing it. I had come out from New York not long before Taxi came up. The only thing I'd done was theater, and the sitcom world was entirely new to me. I didn't want to do a sitcom because I just didn't see myself in that area. And then the script came up. I saw the script. I immediately had an idea of who Reverend Jim was. I found a neighbor of mine who was cleaning out his bushes, found an old jacket with a peace sign on it. He said, "You want this?" I said, "Yeah." I had a pair of old shoes from an ex-father-in-law, sneakers that were worn, pants that were worn. I came to the meeting with the producers, and they said, "When I come back Monday to rehearse, wear what you're wearing now." And that's what I wore for the next 3.5 years. Amazingly. And I loved doing it, and it had really affected my future career, because it was my first break, so to speak, in Hollywood. And suddenly I got offers to do parts that I could never understand why I got them. But gradually I had sort of become aware of why I was doing Doc Brown or Star Trek or some of the other characters I've been doing. I guess it resonated from Taxi that's the kind of stuff I was good at doing. So Taxi really boosted my career.
Well, we're awful glad that you did.
Yeah, me too.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a huge fan, and I've grown up watching you play many different characters. My question for you is, out of all the characters you've played, have you enjoyed playing the good guy or the villain, and what role would you want to play next?
I've never tried to steer my career towards the good guys or the bad guys, because either way, my function is to make the character real, whether he is real and evil or real and good. It's the same process. I try to identify with the character I'm playing either way, so that I understand what he's about and I can bring my understanding of that character to the audience. So good or bad, it doesn't matter to me, as long as it's something I can, grab and take for a ride. I've often thought of a character I would love to play. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Don Quixote de la Mancha, but I'm about the right age now, and I would love to get my teeth into that, so we'll see
Well,
what
I'm a
happens.
huge musical theater fan, so if you play that role, I would definitely love to see you play Don Quixote.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Lloyd.
Hi.
My question is, what was your favorite time period in the Back to the Future movies you work in?
I love the Western. I love the Western. I mean, we all have a romantic attachment to the Old West, you know, and Back to the Future 3, there was the horseback riding, there was that steam engine. I don't know if any of you have ever had an experience working on or around a steam engine, but it's an incredible piece of machinery, believe me. It's awesome. And then Doc had a romance. Dear, dear, dear Claire, you know, so. And I had kids. I mean, everything one could wish for. So Back to the Future, being in a Western, and with a beautiful script, was great.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hey, Mr. Lloyd, how are you?
Good.
Quick question. Did you have an interest in any specific field of science before you were Doc Brown, or did that lead into something further afterwards?
I don't, so I love, you know, Einstein and people of that ilk who can, with their imaginations, can see things that we don't see. Isaac Newton, you know, we don't see them until they discovered and made clear to us. And so I love that whole concept of being able to look into the cosmos, into the world, the universe that we live in, because we're always trying to figure out how we got here, where we came from, what existed before the Big Bang, and all of that. And so people who have that kind of insight, have that gift to be able to figure stuff out, have always amazed me. I don't have it myself. I'm not a scientist. I talk like, if I got the good lines, it may sound like I'm a scientist and know what I'm talking about, but I don't. So, but I'm always fascinated by that. And I felt Doc Brown kind of epitomized that kind of character. He was constantly trying to come up with new inventions and new ideas, like that thing he wore on his head that was supposed to be able to read his thoughts or something. And then also, scientists sometimes, they labor for years to try to figure something out. And then they give it up. And then suddenly they're getting on a bus or something. Bingo. They you know, it's like when Doc Brown has been working on time travel and he can't figure out how to make it work. And then he falls down one day in the bathroom and knocks his head against the toilet rim. Eureka. Suddenly, he figures out time travel. So I love that kind of stuff.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you aware that you scared an entire generation with your Judge Doom character?
Yes!
How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it. No, a lot of people in the signings here have come up and said how when they were children and they saw that movie, it horrified them. They were so scared of the character. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. I love to do that. You know, I don't want anybody to be damaged emotionally for life or anything like that. But that's fun. I did a character in, what the devil was the film? That bad boy, Dennis the Menace. And I played a villainous guy in that, which I relished. I loved doing it. And there was a scene where I'm going through this alley, and I'm passing these rich homes, and I'm kind of scouting out what home I'm gonna burglarize next. And there's a fence in the alley. On the other side of the fence, there's a boy. getting ready to eat an apple. And it was just a kid that they got. I mean, 5, 6 years old. And I reach with my knife, I take the apple, and I eat it. I walk away. And that boy, for the rest of the shoot, whether I was in costume or out of costume, he'd see me and he could not come near me. Could not come in. He'd be with his mom and he'd like hide behind her. So I hope wherever he is, that he's okay.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hi.
I was wondering what it was like going back and playing Doc Brown for the video game series that came out recently.
That turned out to be a lot of fun. I wasn't sure how it would work out. It takes the story, it kind of parallels the story that is in the movies, but it takes different turns. And it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah. Good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to do more of that. We're going to do more of the game. Yeah, we're still doing more. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Lloyd, pleasure to meet you. Love everything you do. I think most of my questions have been answered already. However, Back to the Future is very big with us still, and every time the kids and I get together, well, maybe not every time, but we watch the whole thing, like, you know, minimum 5 times a year. We'll just sit back on the bench and we just love it.
Me too.
Yeah. One of the best things we love about your part too is when your mouth drops open, your eyes go wild, and you go, "Great Scott!" You know. I just love that. And I was just wondering if you could do that for us.
Hey!
Great
Hey!
Scott!
Hey! Excuse me.
Oh, roads. Where we're going, we don't need roads.
First off, it's a great honor to meet you. I grew up watching a bunch of shows with you, a bunch of movies, and this is a question that's been plaguing me for years. What does the yellow light mean?
I tell you, when we did that, when we shot that moment on Taxi, when you're doing a sitcom and you come to the last day before you shoot Friday night, say, you shoot Friday night, you rehearse all day, you have a run-through in the afternoon with full costume, cameras, the lot. And all the writers and the producers are there taking notes, and it's kind of a charged atmosphere because you're going to do the whole thing live in front of an audience that night. And every once in a while, it wouldn't happen often, but occasionally there'd be something that hadn't been solved in the script, some moment that just didn't work, and they couldn't find a solution to it. And it gets down to 6 o'clock, the audience is going to start walking in at 7, you've got to eat, get made up of the whole thing, and so it's like kind of urgent, and everybody's beginning to panic. And at moments like that, the writers and producers, they don't care who comes up with the suggestion to solve the problem. If it's the guy, the gaffer up there running the lights, the janitor, it doesn't matter. The secretary, it doesn't matter. It's like, help, anybody, what? And in a moment like that, somebody said, what if the actor asks Jim, or Jim asks another character, what does the yellow light mean? Slow down. What does, and so forth. And it was in one of those moments that somebody, I don't remember who, came up with that idea. They tested it quickly, it worked. We all broke for dinner and did the show that night. So Taxi had an amazing team of writers, fabulous team of writers. But once in a while, they come to a moment like that and just pray. I remember there was another incident like that where we're at Mario's, the bar, an Italian cafe kind of bar, next door to the Taxi set. Not all of you have maybe seen Taxi. It's kind of a generational thing, but I'm sitting at the bar as Doc Brown, and they're looking, and I'm not in the main part of the scene, but they want to find a tag for the scene. And there's a couple of other guys sitting at the bar, and we're just sitting there, and I asked for a beer, something like that. So the bartender pours the beer, and he slides it down the bar, and it goes right past me, off the bar into a trash can. And there was kind of a moment pause, and I say to the bartender, "Did a beer just go by?" And he says, "Yeah." And I get up and say, "It's time to go home." That was another one of the moments when nobody could find a tag for the scene, and somebody came up with that. So.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Mr. Lloyd.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I have a pretty good question about Michael J. Fox. What was it like working with him?
Michael was wonderful. He's wonderful. Just an amazing, great spirit, courage, a wonderful actor, a wonderful comedian. Another actor played his part for the first 6 weeks that Back to the Future one was shot. And he was a wonderful actor. I wince because, Eric Stoltz, who was a superb actor. And I was unaware that they were going to make a change until we were having dinner one night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, because we were shooting all night. And Steven Spielberg showed up, and other executives from Universal, and it was announced that Eric Stoltz was not going to play the part anymore, and he was going to be replaced by Michael J. Fox. And I, for myself, I was thought, I have to do those 6 weeks over again. I just pray that I can do them as I hope, as well as I did them the first time. And then the next day, Michael was there. We started working, and from the very beginning, Michael and I did not have to work for chemistry between us. It was just there, inherent. And we just had a blast working all the way to the end of Back to the Future 3. He is so wonderful to have been stricken, so early in his life with Parkinson's. But his courage to continue to go out and establish a foundation for research, for a cure, to go to congressional hearings, to speak there, to keep working. He's got another series coming out, by the way, this fall. There's so much love in him, and tenderness, and wit, and humor. He's an amazing person.
Not to mention he's Canadian.
Oh, I just assume everybody knows.
He's great. Thank you.
Thanks.